Hi everyone, it's Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 7, Negan's Next Kill. I know we just got over the last 2 kills, but there's a lot of rumors starting to swirl around about who Negan will move on to next. I have to warn you, this will contain spoilers and predictions, also comic book spoilers. So if that's not your thing, do not watch any further. We're going to talk about obvious choices, risky moves, and who there is no freaking way they would possibly touch. So your participation is required. Leave in the comments below. So let's move forward and talk about the obvious choices of who we think will be Negan's next kill. And there will be a round of applause after this one because he is not the most popular at this point. Spencer. So Spencer is already in I told you so mode. We saw him in the preview where he said we should have made a deal with them, we had a chance. So he wants to see Rick taken out of power, and he's going to try to negotiate with Negan to make that happen. Negan does not like it, we know. So what does he do? He kind of slashes his guts because he told Spencer, you don't have the guts to do it yourself. Oh, look, I was wrong. You actually do have guts. So Spencer is going to go at some point this season, but will he be Negan's next victim? Leave your thoughts and comments below. This next one was way too obvious, way too early in the show. This is Richard, and I think we all like Richard. He stood up to one of the saviors, which is what all of us, I think, wanted to do the last couple episodes. Unfortunately, Ezekiel told him to stand down. He took a couple cheap shots in the face from Heavy Metal Savior, and then this guy's talking about Produce Week, so go produce, or if not, we're going to have to kill him first. So those words really put a bullseye right on the back of Richard. Would hate to see him go, but he may be the first example from the kingdom that Negan's going to come back and start to abuse them. We also know from the comic book that Richard did die. Now, that's a little vague. There's some mystery surrounding that. In the comic book, I think it was one of the saviors. Wasn't necessarily Negan, but we don't know which one actually killed him. Moving on to Benjamin. Benjamin, very interesting character because he's almost like the godson of Ezekiel. His dad died. Ezekiel probably feels a little bit of guilt because he sent his dad to his death. And here, Benjamin looks like he can probably defend himself. But unfortunately, he's kind of soft-spoken. He's quiet. He's a little bit weaker. He finds the book on philosophy, so he's actually training in Morgan's footsteps, which doesn't say that he's going to last very long. And also, he's training to defend himself, not necessarily kill. So I wouldn't be surprised if Benjamin is very short-lived. Now, will Negan actually punish him? That's the question. I'll leave it up to you. Let's talk about some risky moves. These are going to be a little bit less likely, but they could still happen. First up for discussion is Morgan. A lot of interesting dynamics happened in the scenes with Morgan. One, when he pulled out the gun, he paid a lot of attention looking at the gun, even turned it to the side. Also, the interaction where he had with the lady from the kingdom, where he said, I know who they are, so definitely told them that he already had interaction and a run-in with the saviors. And also, let's remember, the last time someone turned on their values and their morals was Glenn. When Glenn started to kill again, it backfired on him. When Morgan starts to kill again, could it backfire on him? How about Dwight? We've seen a lot of sneak peeks with Dwight. There's going to be a lot of focus on the cell and Daryl being locked up. But this particular scene, Dwight looked out and saw the walkers, and I think it's starting to take its toll on him. All the things that he's witnessed, all the things he's been through. And remember, Cher, a.k.a. Honey, had also told him, whatever he's done, there's always a little bit more. So I think it's starting to resonate. We thought that Carol was crazy at one point, and she was acting, but Dwight might actually be going through the emotions and feeling the regret, and maybe he even breaks Daryl out of the cell. Betraying Negan could get him in a lot of trouble. Leave your thoughts below. Will Dwight turn on Negan? And Eugene, I don't think it's going to be Eugene, but Eugene, his character is going to have to take a different turn. I know in the comic he grows the ponytail and becomes a real renegade, but in here he gave the bullets over, he lost his best friend. Could Eugene be on the chopping block? Let me know what you think. Now let's move on to the category of no freaking way. These are rumors that are swirling around. I don't think they're going to happen, but Daryl is locked up. Dwight goes through a little bit, showing him the walkers, pushing his face up against the fence. We do know that he has a torture chamber where he's locked up. Here, Dwight's actually taking him over to Negan. Negan's got the bat. And keep in mind, yours truly, with the original pictures that came out, I did predict that this is the area that Daryl would be locked up and also tortured based on Negan coming in and swinging the bat. Negan also says to him, you don't scare easily, so let me know what you think. Daryl has been seen filming, and he has been seen filming with his motorcycle, I think episode 14 or so. Carol, I know Carol's a real long shot here, but the reason I would bring her up and discuss her is because a couple scenes where she talked to Ezekiel, she actually gave the impression she was giving up on life. And one is left to wonder, how will Carol react when she hears the news of what happened to Glenn and Abraham in such a gruesome, horrific way? Maybe Carol will actually find it in herself to retaliate and get back to old Carol again. She's been acting lately. This was a great scene. I thought she was nuts, but she was playing along the whole time. How about Ezekiel? We just met Ezekiel, so there's no way he's dying anytime soon. However, will he be a future victim of Negan? Perhaps there's a partnership forming between Rick and Ezekiel when we get to All Out War, and Ezekiel could be someone that dies by the wrath of Negan. Let me know if you think that he's going to go. And Negan is also going to be pretty upset when he finds out that Ezekiel was feeding him pigs that eating walkers. I'm sure that's not going to resonate real well with Negan, Lucille, and the rest of the Saviors. And last for discussion is Shiva. We just met Shiva as well too. Shiva will die. There's no doubt about it. And the question is going to be, how's she going to go? I think she's going to be protecting Ezekiel, and she will take the bat via Negan. I don't think it's going to happen in the next few episodes, so we can breathe easily for a little bit. But I do think it's going to be one of those moments on television where AMC makes you take a step back and say, I can't believe they just beat down a tiger on television with a baseball bat. So it's CGI, luckily, and it's animatronics. Let me know your thoughts of some of these predictions. Let me know your own predictions down below. Looking forward to reading, interacting, everything that you think is going to happen this season. And let me know who you think Negan's very next victim is going to be, and even some victims later on in the season. My name is Killshot. Give this video a thumbs up. Talk to you soon. Peace.